Hurrah for the days when aviation was a gentleman's pursuit. Back before every Joe Sweatsock could wedge himself behind a lunch tray and jet off to Raleigh-Durham.
Well, good evening, Lou Troopers. Max and Max's Models here. And I pretty much finished up the Connie today, but I ran into a little trouble with the doors. They fit fine, that wasn't the problem. But there were only positioning pins for the forward door, which was a little confusing. So I consulted a bunch of online photographs to find out what the deal was, to see if maybe the rear door folded inward, and to make sure that the forward door actually went out and forward like you saw in the picture. I looked at the book by Craig Cadera where he has the same kit built up. I researched a bunch of online photos, but I got kind of a mixed bag because some of them the forward door just wasn't there, like it was a plug door that pulled inside, and I got confused. So, of course, I called my great resource, the wonderful Mike Machat over at Celebrating Aviation with Mike Machat. First, we had to get in the Wayback Machine and go to old LA, and, well, now I guess it would be old LAX. And he found exactly the photo we were looking for. It is a Super G, and as you can tell, the forward door does go out and forward, and the inner door does come in. I found a picture of a Trans-Canadian Airlines rear door where you could actually see the rear door recessed inside. So now I knew where the door went. I'd already put the fuselage halves together, but I went ahead and just glued the door to the inside where it was supposed to be, even though there's no interior detail, just because I'm a glue trooper, and it's what we do. So then I went ahead and finished up the rest of the model. Everything was pretty straightforward. A little filing, a little scraping. I tried to keep it to 12-year-old Max's kind of build, but I just had to use some setting solution and some other things. So although I kept with the spirit of the build, I did have to use a few slightly more advanced techniques just to get things to work. I'm going to blame the crispy decals for that. Of course, I was going to weight the nose, but then I realized you don't have to because you have the rear air stair. But once I glued it in place and let it harden, I found out that it still sagged a little bit. The nose wheel was popping up. I'm going to have to put something under that rear air stair to make it sit a little higher, or find a way to force it not to flex. But that's not a big deal. Anyway, the model's done. Again, not super detailed. The only paint I used was black. The rest was black and red magic marker, which I used partly to cover up some of the damaged decals, but we're just going to call that weathering. Overall, for a kit that came out, I think I saw a stamp inside that said 55 or 59, I forget exactly, but we're looking at a really old mold. It's still, given when that mold came out, it's a good kit. I really enjoyed the build, and if you wanted to, it would be worth super detailing if you wanted to, as a modeler's challenge. It certainly is capable of looking better than I made it. Craig Cadera proved that. But I would recommend, though, that the first thing you do is file down all those rivet heads, because I know Monogram was just trying to give the kit some texture, but that's just not the way Connies were made. They did not have all those rivet heads poking out. But anyway, love the build. Great fun. I have this displayed now right here at my desk. I really, really like it. It's just, it's beautiful. It's a Connie. And being an airline pilot, just have this little mini quasi-diorama right there that I'm looking at right here by my workstation. And if you heard that thumping sound, that was my knuckles racking the desk. Ow, good move, Max. Anywho, so that's where we're at with that, guys. A lot of fun. Look forward to seeing everybody at the live stream. Huge shout out to Mike Machat, author of Paintings, Aviation's Legends by Mike Machat. Shameless plug for a friend's book. And guys, you take care of yourselves. And as always, model on.